All right. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for just taking some time out during the week to spend with us. I am AJ Ootman, your customer success manager, and today I'll be kicking off talking about requests and updating your email templates. During today's session, I'm just going to give a very brief overview of how requests work, and then I'm going to pass to Nicole, who is from our technical support team, to update how you can update your email templates if you do decide to use requests. I do know this has been a feature that clients have been asking for years, so I have a hunch pretty much everyone on this call will want to utilize them. Now, allowing you to make requests gives you the ability for patrons to ask for resources that they are either unauthorized or uncertified for. Additionally, it allows you or allows patrons to make requests for resources that are currently unavailable. That way, if someone does cancel that order and it becomes available, they can be approved to pick up that gear. This is a huge value add, not only for that reason, but if you have patrons that are granted specific access to equipment, but maybe that equipment isn't being utilized during, one of your breaks or your summer session, and another patron wants to use it, now they can request it and you can agree to that request. All right. Now, to enable requests, you will need to update your operations and patron portal settings in our current June 2024 version. For more information on that, please see our documentation or watch our recent user symposium. But today, I'm just going to show how to make a request. So I'm going to go into Patron Portal. And I'm in Patron Portal as Frida, the film student, and I'm going to start a reservation by hitting my shopping cart icon in the top right-hand corner. All right, and my start time looks great. I'm just going to bring my end time to 11 a.m. I'm going to select Frida's project, Snails on a Plane, agree to my terms. And now Frida is going to look through the catalog by selecting Browse Catalog. All right. She's going to go to our cameras and select the red monster camera. Now, right when Frida gets there, I can see that there's this red authorization not granted. What this means is that this camera is restricted, and Frida is not a part of a group that grants access to it. However, in my settings, I've enabled the ability to still request unauthorized gear, which is why I see this hand with the plus icon here and in the bottom right corner. So I'm going to go ahead and click that to request this camera. All right. Now, Frida is going to add a couple more items. So I'll go back to my list of cameras and go to my Pentax film. And this is not a restricted piece of equipment, so she'll simply hit the plus icon to add this item to the order. Now, when I close out, I notice that that Pentax film camera has this red stop sign alert. If I click that red stop sign alert, it tells me that this type of camera is currently unavailable until Friday, July 19th. She could either replace the equipment, or if she still wants this type of camera, she could request it. That way, if whoever has the current reservation cancels, she could get approved for this equipment. So I'll select request, and now they're both listed as requested items, which is why I see the red hand beside each. She'll go ahead and just add one more item. So she'll add her Sentax boom or Sennheiser boom mic. Great. And now her order looks good. Let's see. Great. Looks like I just need to move my reservation lead time up a bit. It's being a little too aggressive. Need to move it further. Great. We'll just move this up a bit more, and then we'll move this order up more. Great. Awesome. And as we can see during that test, what's really great too is you're going to get clear feedback right at the bottom of the screen. So as patrons scroll down, they can see that listed. Once it says looks good, we're going to see that green thumbs up, and I can hit submit reservation. Great. So now Frida has submitted this reservation with 3 items, 1 that's reserved, 2 that are requested. If I go back to the operator portal, just refresh my screen, and I see Frida's order has come in. If I were to go into her order, great, and I can see there's 1 reserved item, 2 requested. I'll hit edit reservation. Once I put this in edit mode, I now have some thumbs down to reject or thumbs up. I'm going to give it a thumbs up for my red monster. Great. So I'll accept that request, but the Pentax film, because someone currently has that reserved, I'm going to wait to see if they come pick it up. If they don't, right, and they end up canceling that order, when Frida comes in, I'll approve it at that time. But for now, I'm going to leave this as a request. So I'm going to save the reservation. All right. Well, that was a very brief overview of requests, but I know why most of you have tuned in is to see what type of communication is possible when a patron makes a request. So I'm going to go to show you an example of what you can configure email templates to look like, so that Frida, this is what her reservation created email could have looked like. I can see here, I have that reserved resource, her boom mic, and then boxed in red are the 2 requested resources. Okay. Now, in order for all of you to update your templates, if you do decide to use requests, I'm going to pass the time to Nicole, who's going to be assisting us with how to best update your templates following our documentation, so that if you are using requests, all of the information you're looking for can populate into your emails. All right. So I'll go ahead and stop my share, and I just want to welcome Nicole.
All right, thank you, AJ. Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole, and I am part of the technical support team here at Web Checkout. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Get there. All right. So today I'm going to go ahead and be showing you how to make updates to your custom email templates to ensure that they continue to work properly as they would have if you had request enabled or disabled. So with request enabled in June 2024, as I said, corrections will need to be made to the custom email templates to retain current information. Our documentation we created lists these changes and how to apply them to those custom email templates. So I will be showing that document after this slide to just give you a little peek at it, as well as showing you how to use it as a step-by-step guide. These email changes can be made prior to upgrading to our June 2024 release. So if you are on versions July 2021 through December 2023, these changes can be made and they will not cause any disruptions to your current operations. We can also use professional service hours and have our team make these changes for you if you don't feel comfortable doing so. And as a reminder, this is only required if you plan to use requests and have custom email templates. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over here to our email template update doc. So this is on our community site. We will go ahead and also drop a link in the chat if you need to register. Registration is free, but this is what the email template updates document looks like with a step-by-step. So one of the first examples I'm going to show you is using the checkout created email template. So I'm going to go ahead and travel here to my email templates, view and edit. And so we can see right here, we are in the email template editor. So since I'm on the checkout created template, I'm going to go ahead and travel to the document, scroll down here and find the checkout created section. So for these code snippets, you're going to go ahead and want to look for these 5 lines on your current email templates. And then we're going to replace these 5 lines with these 7 lines. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a copy. And I'm going to look for that here. So we can see on line 16 through 20 that we see the before June 2024 code snippet. And just as a reminder, if you have made changes to your custom email templates, your line numbers might be different from mine. That's okay. Just make sure you are looking for this code snippet. So once again, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste that in here, and we can see really the changes here were these 2 lines. We are changing it to add in this if and equal action and then closing that out. So I'm just going to regenerate this data. And just to show that it does continue to work properly, I'm going to use an example CKID, regenerate that data and refresh the preview, and we can see once again, it's working as it would normally if you had requests disabled. So don't forget when you make these changes to go ahead and save and then close this out. And then once again, I'm going to just show another example of how you would do this. For instance, reservation reminder, you would look for the code snippet on the documentation. In this sense, it would be lines 23 through 28 on mine. And I'm going to go ahead and copy paste what the new lines would be, replacing this. So we can see here, again, 2 lines have been added. Those are the main changes. Going to regenerate that data, use another CKID to show you that this template will go ahead and continue to work as expected. And once again, we can see no changes, just making sure this information continues to populate. And then let's go ahead and save that. And then we can close that out. So one thing I am going to go over is to use for reservation created. So I'm going to go ahead and travel to this template. An example I'm going to use is, once again, we're going to replace these lines here, but I'm going to add in another code snippet so that way we can also see requested resources on the reservation created template. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste the code snippet I have available. So we can see here on lines 23 through 30, this is going to go ahead and show the reserved resources, while on lines 32 through 39, this is going to go ahead and show the requested resources. Once again, going to regenerate that data, and I'm going to use an example CKID to show you what it would look like. And this is going to look similar to AJ's example. Once again, this is how you'll be able to show reserved resources and then requested resources that are on allocations for a reservation created email template. So once again, you'll want to save to make sure your changes are saved, and then this will be the code snippet for reserved, code snippet for requested. And then I want to pass it back to you, AJ.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nicole. All right, and I'm just going to share my screen once more for everybody's reference. All right, and we'll just put this back. Sorry, got a little behind. All right, well, I do just want to remind everyone, if you are looking to enable requests this year, I do encourage you to upgrade, if you haven't already, to our June 2024 version. As always, you can email support@webcheckout.net to get that scheduled. And of course, can review our release notes as well as our recent user symposium video on it on our community site. Now, today we showed you in our documentation how you can update your emails to enable requests on your automated emails. However, if you do want assistance with that, or even want someone from our team to do it on your behalf, please reach out to sales@webcheckout.net in order to inquire about adding some professional service hours. All right. Well, that is all we have in terms of new content for today, but we do have a bit of time, so I do want to open the session up for any questions. And you can place questions in chat or just unmute yourself and ask them as needed. Okay, so Stephen asks, are any changes to email templates required if we do not use the new request feature? Stephen, this is a great question. So no, if you're not enabling requests, just leave your email templates as they are. You don't need to make these updates. However, if you do enable requests, we strongly encourage you to make the updates that are on that documentation page. Great question. I think hand raised from Romeo. Yeah, go ahead, Romeo.
Hello. So I'm just wondering if you can just repeat one more time this, like it seems to me there's two things that requests are for. If you find something in the catalog that you're not certified for, or if something isn't available at the time of your reservation.
Yeah, so there's three things that someone would make a request for, and you can choose which of those three or all of them you allow or none of them, right? It's if someone is unauthorized for equipment, you can allow them to request. If they are uncertified, for those of you with the certification module, and then the third is unavailable. So just so everybody knows, some common use cases that clients have described to me with unavailable and uncertified, particularly over break. So like spring break, summer break, sometimes the normal workflow or the normal restrictions, certain centers may relax. So if they allowed requests, they may say, you know what, no one's using that gear, let's approve it. Or it may be even during the school year where right now a class isn't utilizing that equipment, I'll approve it. Or maybe the student is one of my student workers, or the patron, is a new client. Any of those variables may make you approve a request for unauthorized or uncertified. For unavailable, what's really nice with that feature is if someone currently is reserving camera A, I request it. Well, let's say that person cancels their reservation. Now the operator could approve my request and I can get it. Or if I can never get it and you just let it go past its pickup grace period, it can automatically be added to your turn down report to give you better feedback from the patron portal on who's requesting gear that they're not able to get. Okay.
And sorry, if I could just follow up with that. It's is it does it work for other policy settings? Like if we only allow one of any certain type but they want an extra one, is that the same?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a really great question, actually. So, just so everybody's aware, I'm just going to show you where you can enable these settings at the checkout center level. So if you go admin checkout center, you'd first want to make sure under your operations tab that you have enable requests checked. Once that's checked, if I go to my patron portal settings, there's this field will open up, enable requests in patron portal. If I allow it, I can allow those requests. And then to your point, can it be different by resource type? I'll be candid, I have not tested that, so I'm just gonna take a peek. I don't believe so. Yeah, so it'll need to be checkout center wide. All right. Great question. All right, and I do see, it looks like it was answered in chat, but are any changes to email templates required? Oh, no, we answered that. Let's go to the next one. So from Asa, for the unavailable, if the first reservation is canceled or not picked up, will the requested reservation automatically get approved and noted? Oh, great question. So Asa, to clarify, if someone's wanting camera A, right? They cancel that request. I've also requested camera A. It won't automatically go to me because there could be multiple people requesting camera A. So the operator will still need to approve it. But what's nice is if someone comes to the desk, right, and they say, hey, I requested this, is it possibly available? You can check and then just approve it right then and there. Easy in that workflow, but it currently is not automatic. So great question on that. All right. Going back. Rich asks, will the June 2024 upgrade handle these by default? That's a great question, Rich. So presently, no, you will need to change your templates if using requests. The reason these default templates have not been auto-changed is because we understand not all of our users will be using requests. So presently, if you use requests, please ensure to make these updates prior to the start of your semester. Great questions. Any other questions? Feel free to, raise a hand or unmute yourself, or if I missed anything, please feel free to just jump in. Yeah, Romeo, go ahead.
So this is indirectly related, so if it's not the right time, but you brought up the catalog, the new catalog,
Yeah.
which is different from the contents that you used to have. Like the content.
Yeah,
Just-
so you're talking about this new catalog in
Mhm.
Patreon.
So that's the main place where students would go now to find, like, just like it replaces the contents button or feature.
Yeah, so underneath contents, they'll see, like, if this was blank, it would say hit browse catalog, right?
Okay.
And now, rather than, we used to have a carousel here, but we got feedback from users. They wanted just a broader, more expanded view. So now you have this full catalog for just a broader snapshot of all of your gear.
And visible in the patron portal, still the same functionality for the catalog?
Yeah, so all of your resource type images, all of your descriptions will all still transfer. It's just a broader view rather than a carousel that you have to scroll through.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, great question. All right. Well, we have about 5 more minutes. Are there any other questions? I am going to just pull onto screen what I popped into chat. This is the documentation page that Nicole reviewed. So, if you didn't grab that in chat, please make sure to copy that. I'll go ahead and just place it in chat again, just so it's top of mind. And of course, if anyone does need help updating theirs, don't hesitate to reach out.
I do have one more, AJ.
Yeah.
So we have a custom reservation notes on our portal where
Okay.
students can, like, that's sort of what we used for requests. But there isn't really, this wouldn't necessarily, these requests aren't, there's no way that that's a replacement to what we have as a custom field for reservation notes.
Oh, like so that they can add reservation notes to their order.
Well, rather than reservation notes, yeah, it could be a request. Like if there's, because we don't have everything that we circulate in our online catalog. So some
Gotcha.
people use reservation notes to say, oh, I was actually hoping for this, or can I please have 2 this time?
Sure, I hear you. Yeah, so if it's items that they simply can't see on your catalog, in that case, I would keep that custom property so they can request. And so everybody's aware, I just pulled up the message of the day. If you are using requests, it would be a great time prior to the school year to just make a note. You can now make requests for unavailable or unauthorized gear, whatever your policies are, and just mention that to students so they're aware. And Romeo, in your case, you may want to differentiate between equipment they can see and equipment they cannot. I do want to just make one other note on that, not to get into not to go too off topic, but I did just want to note, whoops, I'm under the wrong tab, that in your patron portal tab, you can choose to, so let's say, Romeo, I'm not fully certain of how you're using that custom property, but if you are using it to say you have hidden restricted equipment, but they can still request it, one option you could do is in your patron portal settings, you can unhide unauthorized equipment by unchecking this box. That way they'll see that equipment like you saw in my demo, but it'll have a warning and they could request it. So that's something to consider. Depending on your workflow, you may want to do that, or you may want to just continue to use your custom field plus the requests. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Awesome. All right. Well, we do at Web Checkout just so appreciate everyone's time. I do just also want to make a note. I greatly appreciate everyone for the many feature requests that you've made. So many of these features came directly from you, so we really appreciate it. I will just answer two more. Great. So if you are having trouble getting into the community site, just please register with your email. If you're still having trouble with that, shoot us an email. We'll make sure to get you approved today. We do have it password protected just to make sure that anyone in the forums is a real person and not a spam bot or someone that has nothing to do with our community. So I appreciate you creating that with your email. And then totally. And Ryan, I hear you. Some of you requests may be really great. For others of you, you may want to just wait and see if you have that need arise. Okay, awesome. All right. Well, thank you all so much for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.